Shalom, Yasharallah. Bayat Dabudah, the house of David.
About 10 days after 9/11, I went through the Pentagon, and one of the generals called me, and he said, "Sir, you got to come in and talk to me a sec." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." I said, "We're going to war with Iraq? Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper. He said, "I just got this down from upstairs from the Secretary of Defense's office today." And he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
Ezekiel 35:6. Therefore, as I liveth, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. See it that thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Call hello Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Chakodash, and double honors and salutations out to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, those who taught us his truth and knew well, the water for all of your diligence throughout all these years. You're definitely worthy of double honors. And shalom as well out to the 144,000 men, right, of the governing body of the future kingdom to come that are studying profusely throughout the 4 corners of the globe that their house may be blessed through election. Shalom unto you, beautiful Akim. Keep pushing. And shalom as well out to the innumerable 1/3 that consists of men, women, and children that have been blessed with the mark of the Tawal, which is exempt from the judgment to come, pursuant to Ezekiel 9:4. All right? The latter end is here. Now, the name of this lesson here is from the opening precept in Ezekiel 35, since thou hast not hated blood. Okay? And what is that talking about? It's talking about Esau Edom. Okay? The bloodthirsty nation that wants nothing more than death and hell spread throughout the 4 corners of the globe. All right? Now here you see in this interview with this general, he pointed out 7 different countries that America has or is going to or has wants to take down or defeat or destroy. All right? Within a certain amount of time. As a matter of fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, within 7 years. Okay, so, and we're not going to go through all the countries, all right, but just to give some background on their involvement with these countries, because you have to remember one thing: whenever America deems a country unfit or a dictator or, you know, in some type of turmoil or something where they have to go and police it, just always keep in mind, the first thing you should ask yourself is one, what does that nation has or that country has that America wants? All right, because their interests are the only thing that really motivate them. It's never been on the basis of really helping and aid. It's always been on the pretense of having something that we want. All right, and cunningly or slyly devising up a plan to be able to seize it and to take it. All right, as we know in the world, America has a God, and the acronym for that God is gold, oil, and drugs. All right, and that's Esau's main motivation. All right, when going throughout the earth here. Now, just to give you some background, now you talked about the Iraqi war and going into Iraq. Now we know that the U.S. claimed the intent was to basically disarm Iraq with WMDs, which are basically weapons of mass destruction, right? All right, to end Saddam's support, all right, for terrorism, all right, and free the people, the Iraqi people, of his dictatorship and his horrible regime, right? But what a lot of people don't know is in 1980, Saddam Hussein was actually awarded a key to the city of Detroit, all right, after he had donated almost, I think it was $500,000 to a church in 1979. I think it was Reverend Jacob Yasso, I think it was, a Detroit Sacred Catholic Church, all right. Now, mind you, also in 82, Saddam was also put on the U.S. terrorist list, all right, but he was suddenly removed, all right, off of that list due to greed, all right, from oil, from the Western powers, okay, because again, there's always a motivation behind what it is that we're doing. So we go into these countries, we kill innocent people, you military men here in America, you sign up to do the killing, all right, in these bankers' wars, because that's all they are, okay? Esau Edom loves to spill blood, okay? This is his MO, all right? So basically, in removing Saddam from that list, what did we do? We went in turn and we armed him with all kinds of nukes, biological weapons, chemical weapons to go against Iran, all right, for oil, because basically why? It served our purpose. All right, so 1 minute you're on the #1 terrorist list of the United States, and then you're removed. Why? Because you have something that America wants, and America wants to use you to get it, which brings me to Sirach 13:6. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? Right. So whenever this wicked Esau Edom, okay, America, when they have a need of something, they'll use you as a pawn, all right, in their game, all right, but you are nothing regarded to these people, and that's what happened to Saddam Hussein, all right. So let's take a look at what's changed since they went over there and what they went over there to get. All right, as a matter of fact, I have a couple of things here so we can see here. So what did we see here on the screen? All right, we see what? Gold. These are all military commanders, right? They're over there in Iraq, and they were over there supposedly for finding weapons of mass destruction. But look what we found instead. You see? You see this? Now, this doesn't belong to us, but we went over there for that reason, right? So understanding again how this devil works, man, all right? And understanding his philosophies and his vibration that he pushes onto the earth. You American people went for this. You pushed for these actions to happen. He came out, Iraq has weapons of mass destruction and we're going over there and such, and American people were behind it, right? So again, understanding this is what this devil does, man. This is the way he works his enchantments over the people. Okay, as a matter of fact, I think I have another one here where, in this video here, this picture here, and you see here, look at that. Who's that right there? That's Queen Elizabeth. Look at all that gold. Okay, between the U.S. and the Brits, look at all that gold that's been taken, that's been stolen from all these countries under the banner of peace and safety, under the banner of aid. Don't continue to believe that there are two, Salakia. Don't continue believing they are there to free them to look for weapons of mass destruction or fight terrorism. What the fuck? It says right. So we see This is a U.S. soldier in an oil tanker loaded with gold in Iraq. You see? So this is the real causation of why these things are happening in the earth. Okay? And why this man is doing his work in the earth. Okay? So you have to understand again how this devil works. All right? The next one was Syria. All right? And what was said about Syria? Now, the U.S. basically engaged in the Syrian war, all right, but it wasn't really to eliminate the civil uprising and bring stability to the country as we claimed, all right, but no, it was more rather about fossil fuel, okay, because there was a pipeline in which Syria was basically the conduit, all right, for this pipeline. All right, so Russia was giving fossil fuel to Europe, and it was protecting their economic base and their interests. All right, because we know at that time Russia sold what it was like 70-something% of their gas exports went to Europe. So the Qadar pipeline was basically just a plot from the West, and NATO was built to basically in the foothold in the Middle East, all right, that Russia had, all right, with leverage over the whole European market. Okay, so again, it was just a ploy, okay, to get them. All right, so they use that excuse to bring stability. We're going to bring peace and safety to these countries. All right, when all in turn there's an financial interest or gain that Esau has in mind, and that's the only reason why he would resort to coming to your aid, so to speak. Okay, because there is an incentive or a plan. There's something he needs to get out of it, which brings me to Sirach 13. 4 and 6. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. Right. See, so going over there and being involved in that Syrian war, okay, that was for his profit. All right. So he basically used them, all right, and used their whole campaign. And we're going over there to bring, stability to the economy and bring peace. But it was all for his profit. All right. Because there was something that he needed to get out of that. Goes on to say, he will use thee, but if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right. And that's exactly what this man will do. So this general has gotten order from up top to go to all these different countries because there's nothing else to do. America has subdued all of the countries across the world. All right. And like you heard him say, we have this great military with all this great weaponry. So we don't know what else to do. So fuck it. Let's just go and start a war somewhere. Let's go get into someone's shit. Okay. Why? Because they can. Because they have the power in their hands to do so. All right. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull that scripture. So that I could bear with me. I think it's, I'm mistaken me over here. I think it's Micah 2. I think it is. And Micah 2 and 1, I believe it is. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and grab that if I may. So, okay, give me a moment here. Because the scriptures are cold, man. Yeah, here it is. It says, this is Micah 2 and 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Right, and that's exactly what this general was talking about. Okay? All right, these bankers were devising iniquity, okay? Wickedness. They have all the nations to subdue. They have all this military. So what are we going to do? So let's think up a plan. So what was their plan? Well, we're going to take out 7 countries within 7 years. Here's the plan. So it says, woe, meaning destruction, to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. Why? Because it is in the power of their hands. So this is why Esau does the shit that he does, because he was given the power to do so. All right? It is in the power of their hands, and that power was given unto them by Yahweh, by Yahweh Shah. Okay? So this is the reason why Syria, America joined into that Syrian war. Okay, they need a reason. All right? Because I think it was one of the Rothschilds, I think it was Amschel, who said, the time to make money is when blood is running in the streets, roughly paraphrasing. All right? War is big business, man. Okay? It is big business. Okay, now last we're going to go through is Libya. Now, like I said, I won't go through all of them. You can do your own research. This lesson will be a lot longer. But just to give you some idea on some of the things that happen. Now, when we look at Libya, Okay, who is that? That's talking about Omar Gaddafi, right? All right, because they said that he was a dictator. All right, but in fact, what it was Omar Gaddafi was actually in bed with America. All right, during that time, Libya had zero debt within their country. Okay, they were given free education, okay, free health care, okay, all type of free benefits into their for their inhabitants. If you wanted to start a business or a farm, they would give you seeds to plant. They would give you agriculture. They would give you land. Okay, so this country, okay, Omar and his country was a very, very wealthy country with completely zero free debt. All right, but what America do? They called him a dictator. All right, why was that? Specifically because he was pretty much creating a joint currency with African nations, right? And it was going to be backed by what? Oil, gold, minerals, resources. All right, not only from his lands, but from along the 40 and 50 African countries that were going to be joined on with him. All right, and what you know, if that would have, or they would have succeeded in that, what would have happened here in America, or all the other countries for that matter? They would have bankrupted all the countries of the world. Okay, had that ploy gone through. So what did America do? They killed him. All right, because they could not, because basically Omar wouldn't, Gaddafi wouldn't allow America access to all of the wealth that they had. All right, so they had to come up with a coup. Okay, all right, so that's exactly what Esau does. All right, he creates a smear campaign, Salakia, throughout the world. All right, through his what? His multimedia machine. All right, his propaganda machines. Right. So basically, what they do is they'll set up this uproar. All right, where all the people will basically, they'll paint him as this dictator, and the people of his own land will start to turn against him. All right, and so what they do? They'll go and kill the leader. Right, they'll bring in the CIA. All right, take him out, set up a puppet leader. All right. that's at the command of the UN. Okay, all right, and at that point, once they're in, it's hey, that's it, checkmate, move. All right, and this was all to prevent that new world currency. All right, and so in doing so, what did it do? They gained access to all of the wealth and resources of that land. You see, so this is how America moves. Okay, now the other countries are Lebanon, the Sudan war, which was over oil, Somalia, Iran. Okay, so all those you can actually go through. I'm not going to go through them all. Okay, but the precept I'm going to bring out, this is Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, and how long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Matter of fact, this to me so you get an understanding. Okay, this is all about money. All right, this is about finances. This is about money. Okay, make no mistake about it. All right. Here you go. Let's pull that in Habakkuk. Here it is. Shall not all these take up a parable? All right, so I can bring this down. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him, meaning destruction, to him that increases that which is not his, and how long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? Right, because America goes around here and will steal from these nations, all right? Salakia, from all these nations here, all right? These were not our this was not our gold. These are not our riches, okay? So, as a matter of fact, when you go into that, because it's all about money, like I said, let's go into that word thick clay here, if we will. Because that's going into debt. All right. Thick clay right down here. Let's take a look at that. All right. Aptit is the word. Okay. All right. H5671 aptit is the word. All right. And it says, what's that? Weight of pledge, heavy debt. Woe to him that ladeth himself with heavy debt. That is America. Okay, we say we got 30-something trillion. No, it's more like over $60 trillion in debt, which were really what the real numbers are. Okay, but they're not telling you this. Okay? So, destruction onto this man. Okay, who goes about throughout the world, stealing resources, gold, oils, drugs. All right? Goes on to say, here's a matter of fact, let me get that in the LT, because that has a cold way of saying it. And this Habakkuk 2 and 6. Will not all of them taunt him with a ridicule and a scorn, saying, woe to him that piles up stolen goods and makes himself wealthy by extortion. How long must this go on? You see? He's racked up a bunch of stolen goods all throughout the earth. All right? So they're asking, how long must this go on, man? Must this man continue to do this? And this just be okay? You see? Let's see. So, again, understanding what that thick clay is, understanding who Esau Edom is today. All right, because basically what he does, all right, is he goes to these countries, all right, and he basically tries to negotiate their resources, all right, their oils, their diamonds, golds, their, the minerals, all right, and basically what the country will do is they'll decline, all right, so then he'll go to his propaganda machine, all right, like I said, turn the people against the leader, all right, then he'll send his economic hitmen over in there, all right, and basically take out the country's leader, set up train puppet leaders, all right, set up their military bases, all right, basically to ensure the compliance of that country. All right, America has 700 military bases, all right, and 800 military bases in 70 different countries around the world. Okay? Which brings me to the next precept, Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine. This is talking about Esau Edom. Transgresses meaning sin. All right, does wickedness by wine. What's his wine? His philosophies, his democracy, his USD, his dollar. All right, his legislation. Okay, he is a proud man. Proud to be an American, right? Isn't that our slogan here? It says he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and as death. Right. We're always in some other country. We can't stay our ass here and mind our own business. We're always in some other country. And it says who enlarges his desire as hell and as death. So what's that talking about? Wherever we go within the earth, we bring hellish conditions and death. You don't believe me? Let's take a look at this. Okay, this man is being outed. What is this here? On the left, this is Iraq. On the right, this is before America came. Look how beautiful that place was. Or Salakia, should I say on the left? This was how beautiful it was here. This is it after. Total desolation. He brought hell and death, Habakkuk. This is Libya. Before. Beautiful country. Look at it after America came. You see what I mean? He is as hell and as death. Wherever we go, we spread these type of conditions. Okay? Let's look at Yemen. Yemen is a beautiful place. Look at the city, the colors, the water. Look at it now. Utterly destroyed. Right? Salakia, one sec. I got to answer this. Hey, Shalom, I'm in the middle of the lesson. You outside? All right, let me open the gate. Hold on. Salakia, give me 1 minute. I got to open the gate for one of the Akim. Salakia. All right, so you see here. And last but not least at the bottom, as you could see it. Look at Syria. This was Syria on the left, beautiful before American military came there. And look at it here on the right. Hell and death, man. You see that? So this is when Esau transgresses by his wine, which is his democracy. You see? What's it say right there? Democracy and freedom before and after. You see? Neither keepeth at home. So the Bible is exposing this man, all right, for who he is and the things that he's done in the world. All right? So you have to understand how this thing goes. Matter of fact, here. Yeah, Salakia. It's going to pull another precept. So again, like I said, America having 800 military bases around the world in 70 different countries and territories abroad. All right, and also has about 30 foreign military bases combined. All right, and this speaks volume about America being the bully or the hammer. All right, never keeping at home in its continual totalitarian regime, okay, against the nations. All right, so now we're in the time of his decline. The kingdom is being taken down through the spirit of the Lord. Okay, and as the general said in the interview, if America is a hammer, then everything else must be as a nail. Isn't that what he said? And that's just the spirit. See how the Lord works. Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? You see that? So all these nations are seeing the decline of America. All right. Businesses are leaving America and going back to their own native countries, chiefly because they can't make any more money over here. All right. Inflation, poverty, taxes. All right. The prices of goods and services are going through the roof. All right, so the Lord is basically causing these people in their pride, all right, to be revealed, all right, revealing themselves through their actions here on the earth, all right, and being proud about it. Psalm 64 and 8, so that he shall make their own tongue fall upon themselves, and all that see him shall flee away. You see, so this man was proud to come on TV and tell American people, well, look, man, we need to just go to war with somebody. Shit, we don't really know what to do. I mean, the nerve. People are trying to live in peace, man. Have families. All right? And this motherfucker has nothing else, but you have all the money in the world. Okay, you've toppled all the governments on the planet. And yet you still want to bring hell and death to people, man. And you think that you ain't going to have to pay for that? All that's going to be paid for and retributed in World War III, man. Make no mistake about it. That is coming. As a matter of fact, let's get that in Joel 2 and 20. All right, this is Joel 2 and 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army. That northern army is talking about what? America. And I will drive him into a land barren and desolate, which is Saudi Arabia, and his face towards the East Sea. And when you look at the map, the East Sea is actually the Euphrates River, and his hindermost part towards the utmost sea, which is the Red Sea, and the eastern shores of basically Saudi Arabia and Yemen, all right, in that area, okay? And this stink shall come up, and this ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things, right? So that's where World War III will take place, right then and there, okay? Make no mistake about it, all right? We've already seen the prophecies that have unfolded, all right, within the past couple of years. You've seen people do little TikTok videos on this. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull this. Is Revelation 16 and 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. You see that? So the river Euphrates, as you can go and you can Google it, it's been dried up, okay, for this purpose. So the kings of the east, which are the Iranians and all of their company, can cross over that region with their military vehicles to join war on with Russia against the Western powers. Okay? This is what's happening. Matter of fact, here, Esdras, all right, was seeing all of this basically take place. He was seeing all the nations being gathered in the Middle East, all right, to fight in that World War III. As a matter of fact, let me get that in a second. Esdras 15, I think we'll start there. And 15, I think around the 25th, 28th verse. Behold, a horrible vision and appearance thereof of the east. Right. So, again, like I said, this is Esdras. All right, the prophet Esdras, he was given a vision over 2,000 years ago on what will be happening in a future prophecy that has yet to come yet. But we're at the cusp of that, which is World War III. Okay? It goes on to say here, 2nd Esdras 15:29, wherein the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come up with many chariots and with a multitude of them, and shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear them. Now, who are the dragons of Arabia? Dragons of Arabia are the Iraqis, the Iranians, or in the Bible they call them the Carmanians. All right? The armies of the east. This is why the river Euphrates was dried up. Okay? So they can join on to battle. Are you following me? Okay? And goes on to say, and also the Carmanians, raging with wrath, shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, and with great power, and they shall come and join the battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Right. So as I said, they're going to join forces with their brothers, all right, against the American NATO powers here in the East and its allies. Okay? It's written plain, as the scripture says, his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. These are the mysteries that were given unto the men of the Lord to go in and expound upon. This is prophetic. This is going to happen. Okay? And this is 2 Esdras 15 and 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, hear this out, remembering their nature, as if they should turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. So what's that talking about? What's the scripture mean that the dragon shall have the upper hand, remembering their nature? That's talking about flying manned planes into buildings full of people. All right. Sending young Iranian children into the midst of soldiers strapped with explosives. All right. And blowing themselves up. Okay. Suicide bombings. Okay. What these people are known for. All right. They're going to go back to that wild nature, man. All right. And this is something America is not ready to deal with. They're not ready to deal with this kind of warfare. All right. Remember what these Khameneians said. All right. Or should I say Iranians said about America assassinating their chief commander, al-Malani, in 2020. All right. And this was after they pulled out of the agreement. All right. To limit their nuclear weapons program. They pulled that shit out. All right. Chiefly because of the bullshit America did. And I quote, it says here, the Iranian commander must be avenged. The U.S. must not allow to rest, even if that means Iranian children are martyred. The Iranians have vowed to send home the bodies of the U.S. soldiers stationed in that region. All right. So you see, they haven't forgotten. Okay. So all this is what's coming. All right. Onto American soil, man. All right. And to the Americans' regime as a whole and its grip upon the world and upon the nation. All right. Esau Edom has to pay, man. All right. The time is up. Now, there are a plethora of scriptures in the Bible that talks about the judgment of America. Isaiah 34, Revelations 9, Revelation 17, 18, 19, Jeremiah 49 through 51, Joel 2, Mark 13, Matthew 24, Luke 21, Nahum 3. Okay, I can go on. Amos 8. All right, there are a plethora. Isaiah 2, Revelation 6. Okay, so yeah, America is talked about in the scriptures. The judgment and destruction of America is talked about. All right. This proud man has went throughout the earth and done nothing but brought hellish conditions and death onto the people of the earth, man. And now it's time for him to pay. All right. So anyway, the Akim are here. You know, they're lining up here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this lesson a bit short. But I pray it was edifying unto the sheep. All right. And I want to say, Call Halo Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachakodash. Shalom.